Greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, and today I'm joined by Vector Maximus and Darkest Light, discussing building in foreign nations, apparently, or so it was described to us. Uh, we know that there's going to be extraterritorial nations that somehow exist in the ether through their buildings, and that they are most likely going to be the main users of this building in foreign nations mechanic. However, we have also been told that the Teutonic Order is going to start with buildings in a lot of places in Germany. So perhaps we'll learn a bit more about how they accomplished that in gameplay terms. Late SMH. Oh my god. No! I was not late. I was here the whole time. I just didn't press the live button.
Well, on their end, you were late.
Sure you were, buddy.
No, I was not.
Where's the proof?
You didn't get the
Get the
intro?
receipts.
Hmm. I wonder if if the intro is going to actually show up in the VOD properly then. But regardless, we'll see. Tinto Maps Extra 2 Sahara today? Oh. Well, that sounds appealing as well. This one's going to be a short one apparently, so I'm sure there will be plenty of time for that as well. Thank you for mentioning it, Gemalt. I might not have known about it otherwise. So, this week we'll delve into more details about buildings and how buildings are not just something you do inside your own borders, but something you do outside them as well. We usually call these types of buildings foreign buildings. Ooh.
Unique and interesting, creative name.
FB.
I never would have guessed that the buildings you build in foreign countries would be called.
They should
foreign
call them FB.
Facebook.
Yes. He got it. He understood the joke. He is very smart. One common building many countries can build in foreign towns and cities is a trade office, which requires that the owner of the location has an opinion of at least 100 of your country. This is one way to get a foothold into another market. The caveat is that the merchant power is relying entirely on the maritime presence it can provide. So it gives you an itty bitty bit of maritime presence and merchant capacity in the region. It requires a little bit of paper. Itty bitty smidgen of paper to keep it going. And it employs 100 burgers, I'm pretty sure. So that's interesting enough.
100 cheeseburgers.
It employs 100 cheeseburgers. Yes. Delicious.
Does this mean that in the modern day mod we can build the McDonald's branches in every country?
Of course. How could it be anything but? McDonald's branches all across the world, and then all the world shall be mine.
Yeah, instead of it causes them to slowly convert to American culture and lowers the health of them. It's the perfect crime.
I'm gonna build a Disney theme park in Japan, and you can't stop me.
You joke, but I believe Disneyland Tokyo is like one of the most successful non-America Disney things in the world. So
yeah, it is.
Like unlike Disneyland Paris, which had a not great history, and Disneyland Hong Kong and such, which was a mixed bag all around. I mean, Disneyland Tokyo, to my understanding, was very successful.
So I've already got some ideas of how I would use this. Oh gosh, and then Trig is like, nope, need to talk more about Disneyland Shanghai.
Exactly.
Yes. Shanghai. To discussing Disney.
I have a couple, yeah. I could very much see like how this would be used in mods as well. There's a lot of ways that this could be done to make interesting. interesting
I mean,
factions.
you can basically kind of simulate foreign investment using this system if
Yeah.
you really dug completely into it.
And it employs people in that nation. Like it uses their
Hmm.
population to make this building that works for you.
Johan addressed this in a comment, so I'm jumping ahead into the future a little bit,
Okay.
gazing into my Palantir future site. But for many of these buildings,
Palantir.
the way it works is that it imports a small amount from your own country, like high ranking
Oh,
people to run the building,
yeah.
and then the rest will be pulled from the locals sort of business,
So
sort of thing. So
that's very interesting. So it would take accepted pops from your country, a little bit of them, send them over there, and then oh, okay.
actually
That's
opening up the office or
yeah.
supervising it sort of deal.
That's
Yeah,
very
you
interesting.
got your merchants run the trade office, and then the locals load and unload boxes.
That's very interesting for the way that will affect population maps. When there's locations that lots of people set up trade offices and other such buildings in, you'll have just tons of
Hmm.
little bits of different cultures and religions showing up, which is just oh so exciting to think about.
Foreign traders.
Though the difficult thing, it makes me wonder how difficult it would be to set that up at game start because I highly doubt there's a way you can say, oh yes, and in this location, because you'll be able to say, oh, in this location there's X number of burgers of this culture and faith, but you couldn't say where they're employed. I imagine. Uh, so,
Yeah, it feels like a level of micro that I don't know. It seems a bit too much, but it's possible, I guess. But I wouldn't hold my breath.
at any rate, I've got in regards to uh, our mod specifically, there's a couple factions in the first region we'd be working on that would have various of these buildings that have employed people of their culture all across the region. So that's going to be interesting to look into doing, specifically construction guilds and mages, because they're specific. They come from specific regions primarily. Hmm. Very interesting. Time to build in every port, town, or city. Hmm. I can't imagine that's a good idea though. To build it everywhere.
If, if you have the gold to do it, might as well. But
Hmm.
yeah,
I mean, it'll give you extra maritime presence, so I can every
and
every
merchant
location that has
capacity.
a good port. So every place on the coast, I guess. I don't know. No, every port, every town, and every city. So that's all the locations that would be important for trade. So I can see it actually, but I imagine surely that only really works on the coast, right? Because maritime presence, I highly doubt that has
Yeah.
any effect inland.
Well, it might have an effect of. It might have a diminished effect if you build one inland.
It might literally only give you the merchant capacity, but you could still choose to do it.
Yeah,
At
because
which
it's not like
point,
inland centers of trains don't exist. I mean, particularly for riverine trade.
oh
So
yes, very true. Maybe you can build ports on those locations as well. I don't know. Nah, you can't sail up the rivers.
yeah, no, but I'm just saying you might inland to also essentially be simulating such riverine ports. So,
Mm-hmm.
for in terms of propagating maritime presence to the coast, even if it is technically an inland province.
We'll have to see how that works in practice, I suppose, because maybe it can still apply the maritime presence even if it's not directly on the coast itself, is in certain circumstances. But another building that you can build in capitals of countries of the same rank or above is an embassy. They increase your diplomatic capacity by zero point 0.1. Ooh! And lift the fog of war over the location. But it is rather costly in upkeep, requiring lots of paper and jewelry. Okay. Okay, something that
Yes.
increases your diplo capacity.
We too can shelter political undesirables and claim diplomatic immunity in the embassy.
Exactly. Yes.
What was
But
the WikiLeaks guy's name?
Assange, Julian Assange, I think.
yeah. Exactly, of course. Yes, yes. We'll shelter all of them, all of the people that want to leak state secrets to us in all of our embassies. Yes. But this makes me wonder how much does how much capacity does it cost to have a vassal that's small, like of a certain size? I really
Well,
want to see.
we know that diplomatic capacity scales, so I'm
Hmm.
assuming a small vessel doesn't cost much at all. But like if you're trying to keep France in a personal union as England, it's going to take up a whole bunch of your
Yeah.
diplomatic capacity.
I seem to recall something about it costing. I think it was like 0.2 for really small ones. Like I think it was
Yeah,
something.
because I think they were using France as the example in that
Hmm.
one, and that was like for some of their appanages for
So
0.2s.
oh, okay, okay. Oh, wait. No, you can only build it in capitals of countries of the same rank or above. You can't be building this in all your vassals.
Yeah, so like, the Holy Roman Emperor can't make one in literally every city in the HRE.
My plans are all foiled. Damn. Ugh. Also, it would cost a ton, but
Just wait, they'll add the office of the imperial legates instead.
yes, yes. It employs 10 aristocrats and 35 burgers. Now, normally the numbers that these places employ seem to be pretty flat numbers, with the next building being 50 as an example. But yeah, they lift fog of war over the location, which is also very interesting. That
Which
capital
is
you
interesting.
get to see. You get sight on that location. Hmm. Not all foreign buildings can be built in an owned location, though. Ooh, building foreign buildings in an unowned location, and some require that the location has no current owner to be allowed to be built. One such building that you want to build in any area where you are doing a colonial charter is a mission. This is a building that will convert 100 pops every month to your state religion if the building is fully staffed and has access to its goods. 100 pops a month to your state religion. Holy!
It is chunky.
Time to establish missions in China. We must prompt Jesus' brother to rise.
But you can't build them in own locations.
No. Well, I imagine
Yeah.
there'll probably be a state version,
There
that you
better
can
be.
build in
I really want to
because
be able
I
to
mean,
build a church in a foreign country to try and convert them.
yeah, I want to be able to be the annoying missionary country.
Yeah.
Be Portugal and convert Japan.
Be Portugal and just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
enforce Japan to allow you to build churches. That sounds like that genuinely sounds like a really fun playthrough to go around and just force people to let you establish trade posts
It
and
sounds
missions.
ultra annoying if you're not the one doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds fun. I already see many of these mechanics being incredibly annoying in multiplayer games.
Yeah, and that's perfect. But you could probably just nationalize them. I'm sure
Yeah,
that
they
you can just
discussed that
did
in a little bit.
okay. Okay. We'll see then. But yeah, Trig, as you say, yeah, that worked well. I'm sure that if you do this to Japan, that it'll work the same. Ah, yes, you're right, Jordan. Yes, playing as Utah, Utah, the state, build
Have you heard
Mormon
about
missionaries
Jordan
everywhere.
Sawyer?
Uh, saving souls for God. Yeah, listen, Jordan. There's three. I'm in southern Canada, and there's three Mormon churches in this city. They're everywhere, man. They're everywhere. All right. Unique foreign buildings. There are many unique foreign buildings in the game. Many depending on what type or which country you may be playing. Okay, so maybe Portugal, just the Iberians with their unique missions they can build in other people's country. Uh, we'll show off a few of these unique ones that make some countries play differently. Very exciting to see what that's like and potentially mod some unique ones of our own. Yes. Oh no! Oh no! Jordan, you know about Cardston? No one outside of Canada knows about Cardston when I tell them about it. How the hell do you know? Yes. Yes. Cardston is pretty close, relatively speaking, and they're spreading. They're spreading from there, Jordan. It's too much. I can't handle it. Huh. Right. Well, the Hanseatic League has multiple buildings they can build. Shocking. Whoa. One of their truly unique ones, I guess, is their shipwrights, as this can be built in any port of their subjects, giving sailors to the owner of the building, while also increasing the shipbuilding capacity in the location. If you play a banking country, you can always place a banking office in any town or city, which will give you a small amount of merchant power while also giving you a fair amount of gold. Whoa. Military orders in the Catholic faith can set up an order commandery in any location in another Catholic country, if they have negotiated a sponsorship. If a country agrees to sponsor a military order, they will gain religious influence and prestige every month. Each of these commanderies that you build will give you some gold and manpower. That really does sound fun.
Please check out today's sponsor.
Please check out today's sponsor, the Crown of Castile.
Can't wait to flood Europe with my order commanderies and reclaim the Holy Land.
Then what do you do? That is the thing, Dark. What do you do once you've got all these manpower? You got all this manpower. You're getting gold and manpower from all of these commanderies, but what do you do with it?
Claim the Holy Land, of course.
But you can't own locations.
That's fine. You can set up a vassal.
I think holy orders are mentioned as being one of the things that can eventually make that transition.
Because they've said that,
And
yeah,
if
it
you can't, set up a vassal.
specifically requires events. Yeah. But maybe there's ways
I
that
wouldn't be surprised if, there's a specific decision, for example, that can be taken.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Maybe a special type of conquest. That you declare a war. Declare a war to create an order nation, and then you choose, do you keep playing as your unlanded order, or do you swap to this new country that has the order as a subject or something? That would make a lot of sense, actually, because you could do this conquest war, and it would set up a country, and then you could choose to either continue playing as that country and have them vassalize the order, or continue playing as the order and have the order vassalize that country. That makes sense to me. Yeah, very, very interesting stuff. I mean, the banking countries, surely the banks are boring to play. There's no way that that's interesting, right?
I don't know. It could be fun being the power broker and just pulling the strings of the world's economy.
Maybe.
I mean, some people would be into that. I don't think I'd be super interested in it, but I know there are some people who like to see Green Line go up.
I'm sure that the Hanseatic League would be an interesting one, because they already start with very clear objectives, and they've got vassals.
Yeah, they're already in a pretty good position.
They're a power in their own right already, and you could probably, without too much effort, make that jump to becoming a real threat. But I don't know. I do love the idea, though, of seeing the Hanseatic League extend itself into the modern age, just as colonialism takes off, that they would take part in it and set up offices all over the world.
Yeah, the colonial Hansa, or perhaps they take the place of the Dutch or the English in the East Indies. They expand to being more than just the Baltic.
Exactly. that all sounds very interesting to me as a concept. But the idea of playable unlanded military orders. Okay. Foreign buildings abroad. Oh, that's so cool. And 132 more buildings. Whoo! Oh, wow. They built a lot. Sheesh. I wonder how much. I really want to see the order commandery building. I want to see that building sheet and be like, all right, what does it actually give you? What is it?
Mhm.
How much
Does
money
this
do you make
benefit?
from
Does
it?
it benefit only me, or does it benefit the host country too? I'm assuming
Exactly.
the host countries get something out of it.
Because all we know about it right now is how much it costs. I want to know how many people it employs. I want to know how much manpower you get from it. I want to know what it does in the
This, this
county.
is this is how much money you make from it every
Yes.
month, not how much what the expense is.
Yeah, because we don't know what upkeep it is, because it probably, well, all buildings do. So it definitely would also have a cost in resources,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know how much that is. Uh, because there's no way that it. Surely it's not the ruler of the land, like of the country that you're building it in, paying for the building. So, but yeah, I love the idea of trying to get sponsorship agreements, and then yet again, this is a case of because the Hospitaller got into the colonial game a little bit as well. So this is just another case of I mean they got kicked out, but they tried the colonial game a bit. Um, so I'd be very curious to see how you can take this into the age of colonialism. How are you going to be building order commanderies in the new world as well? And then, yeah, how does that step to trying to become a landed country work if you want to? Hmm. Destroying foreign buildings. For the foreign buildings in your country that require good relations to build, some you don't need good relations to build. And that's where the annoyingness that you're talking about comes from, Vector.
Mm-hmm.
You always have the option to destroy them if your opinion of that country goes below zero. Oh, you have to manufacture it to go down. Okay, that could be tricky then, because I imagine there's a lot of ways for the landless country to boost your opinion of them. Hmm. And you have to also be at peace to do it. You can't do it while you're in war with something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
shockingly enough, the construction crews can't get through while you're at war.
yeah. Though I mean, I imagine this means just at war in general. It's something you need that the country needs to be at peace for you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not specifically at war with them, but anyway. This will obviously lower their opinion of you further and give them a casus belli to be used against your country. What does the do? What does the casus belli do, though? I must know. What does that do? What do they get permission to do to you? Other buildings may require a peace treaty to be removed, though. Hmm. Okay. This may be very interesting and fun. I realize that this Tinto talk is a bit short, so let's do some more information here. All right. All right. A little bit of extra tidbits. Recent changes. We constantly update and tweak the game from feedback and such, and today I was going to show off a few examples of what we have changed recently, mostly due to the great feedback we have been given. First of all, we have added a small staging time to all explorations where they need to prepare and acquire resources, tying the exploration mechanics closer to the economy system of the game. For the first few months of an exploration, there will be a type of construction in the closest location that fits, requiring goods to progress. I like that a lot. I very much agree that this it feels like it's tied more into the way the economy works, and that bit of code where you can cause where it's like you will do something that will cause a construction to happen, and then the exploration will pop up. I'm sure that that code can be hijacked for other things, where you can steal that GUI um, to have you be able to start construction, like acquiring resources and such to do something different. But don't know what I would have in mind for the moment. But lumber, metalworks, naval supplies, cloth, and liquor. Okay, here we go. They need one of all
Why is
this.
the rum always gone?
They need as much liquor as they need of everything else. One unit of everything. Yeah.
Where's the rum gone?
And as you say, yeah, why is the rum always gone? They've got -2 available liquor. -2. They have a national shortage of alcohol, man. This is crucial. Before anything else, you must acquire this rum for this expedition. Otherwise, it's going to fail.
You must acquire additional booze.
Triangular trade time. No. You can't go sailing without a lot of rum, can you? Oh, God.
Sailing is very mundane and boring.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
You're crossing the water for months.
There's no requirement for citrus. How will we prevent scurvy among the men?
They don't know that
You
yet.
don't.
They do not
Are
know
they
this.
stupid?
Yes. I would. You see, that's the other production method vector. You see, liquor decreases your chance of success if you use it, and fruit increases your chance of success. The cooldown on assigning generals to armies was not too popular when we talked about it. No, come on, that's really important, man.
Read the whole thing.
So instead, we now have a system where it takes time until you get the benefits of a new general in your army. Oh, that's even better. That's even better,
Yeah.
actually. I take it back.
They're simulating travel time.
This time is connected to the travel time it takes from your capital to the army, and some extra time for the character to get up to speed. This will make assigning generals and admirals much more of a strategic choice. Yes, I like that a lot more. This is even better than the idea of it taking you getting the cooldown, because this means that there's literally no situation where you can be like, oops, jump scare, here's my triple 100 stat. My 100 admin, diplo, and military general, and you're already movement locked. Dab, get stack wiped, noob. In this case, yeah, it'll actually take time for the generals to get there.
Gotten better.
They should have, I guess. Yeah, they should have done the same thing. They should have waited until they were movement locked and then added their own general too. One topic has been raised in various map talks has been the lack of ethno-religions. Now we have made it so that we can lock some religions from allowing their pops to be assimilated before they can be converted.
This is a great bit of functionality.
Oh!
Scroll down.
Okay, Vector, yeah, you saying that? When I first just scrolled through and saw that this was at the bottom, I had this moment of like, what if what they're about to talk about is the fact that they've added that functionality? But then I just put it on my mind. No. That's too good to be true. But it is! Oh, that's so fantastic. Judaism, part of the Israelite religious group. Clergy, estate, satisfaction, equilibrium, plus 10%. So that's like a thing that the religion does in particular. Pops cannot be assimilated before converted. And yes, there's more than one Israelite religion, which is also excellent. I like to see that. Stay tuned, as next week winter is coming.
It's probably going to be season
Weather.
effects.
I guess.
Seasonal stuff.
Hopefully seasons and climate. They'll talk
About
climate
winter, monsoons, and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff, probably.
and then how that like gets affected by the different climates, like where it can show up. Yeah, because you won't really see Mediterranean and warmer. You don't really see winter having as much of an effect.
I do remember that Nepal is like the worst spot in EU4 because it gets both maximum monsoon and maximum winter.
Oh, damn! Rest in peace, Nepal.
Sucks being up in the Himalayas.
Yes.
Gave birth to the Gurkhas.
Pops cannot be assimilated before converted. There are 584K Jewish pops in the world. Of this religion specifically, then. Interesting.
Yes.
This is going to be so good. I am so glad that this isn't going to be a case where, oops, sorry, this country had this location has 99% Castilian culture and 1% Jewish and Andalusi culture, and then it just instantly converts all of them. So
yeah,
now it'll be a little tougher, and it'll do
now we
it
can
at the same time.
Spain hours and force them to convert, and then worry about false converts for the next century and a half.
Yes, Inquisition time. See, that's what the holy orders are for. They help you with false converts. What? Okay, so it's specifically tied to the religion. So anyone that is this faith, specifically, if you are this, you cannot be converted unless your culture's accepted, I guess? That makes sense then. Okay. That's probably what it is. But this is still not modifiers on cultures. It still isn't cultures themselves, or cultures and heritages applying being able to have modifiers applied to them, which is still the ultimate wish list. But it's a step there. It's because this is something where the religion of a pop allows you to add modifiers to it of some sort. So I'll be very curious to see what this does then. I doubt that there will be. I do unfortunately doubt that there's going to be the ability for people to. I would really like if it was possible where you could say that certain populations have less population growth rate or more population growth rate. Even things as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm interested. It'll be interesting to see how much of that functionality they allow for modification or not.
Oh, you're right, Gemalt. Yes, you need to convert the religion before you convert the culture. Okay, yeah. You need to convert the religion before you can turn the pop to be your main culture. Yeah. An Ashkenazi Jew needs to be Ashkenazi Orthodox before the Ashkenazi pop can be assimilated. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yes. That's definitely what it actually meant. I just translated it in my head for some reason. Big confusion. Yeah. Well, don't think there's much more to be said about this. I mean, it's really good. It's really good, but I guess I wish I knew more about stuff related to this. I want to know more about how, um, what things what modifiers we can apply to pops. But we'll have to see. Maybe there's modifiers that you can apply to a culture, like how you can apply the stuff to a religion, but I doubt it. I doubt that will be the case, but I'd really like if it was. But we'll have to see. All right, now let's scroll down and see some of these comments. Yeah. The goods for the buildings in foreign markets come from the locations in. Yep. Makes sense. What happens when you go to war with a nation that has your embassy? If relations are 0 at the end of the war, they can choose to destroy it. Only one commandery per Catholic country.
Probably to stop you from spamming it in like every single province.
Yeah, so France can only have one, so but then each
I
individual
wonder.
state in the HRE could
I,
have one.
I wonder how that would work. Can we have it where like say so France only has one, but France has a whole bunch of appanages as vassals.
Yeah.
So can we build in the appanages, and then what happens after they annex those? Do the buildings remain kind of grandfathered in, or are they destroyed? Because that's a funny image in my head.
I imagine they're
The
grandfathered
people
in.
got
just
destroyed.
going around and knocking down all of the holy order buildings. Because like, nope, you have your one. Regulation says only one.
They probably wouldn't make them just get destroyed like that. So, but they might also make it independent countries. They might
Yeah,
make
for them to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's either a case of if you build it in them, even if they're annexed, they don't just get destroyed, or they can only be built in independent nations. Now that's definitely something I'd want to test, because if you can build them in an appanage, and then when the appanage is annexed, they stay or conquered. Yeah, that's the big thing for me. Like, what happens if someone conquers it as well? Because if a different Catholic nation conquers it and you already have one in their country, do you lose it then too? I don't know.
Yeah, not sure. Interesting question.
Because then it's like, well, okay, I can build a ton of them in HRE nations, but that place is so volatile. Like, okay, the HRE has partition, we know. So
Imagine they won't get destroyed. It would be very painful if they got them destroyed, but what it might be, it might convert into a different building type, since while there's only one commandery per country, there might be other buildings that they're allowed to build. So if you have multiple commanderies, any excess are converted, perhaps.
that could make sense. There might be just a castle.
Chapter house.
I don't know what an order commandery explicitly means because we haven't seen the building, so we don't have its building description. I imagine what it means realistically is just a piece of land that they they own, like a county essentially. Like this is a county that's administered by them, and they get the taxable income from the peasants is the idea. And that most times you would have an order chapter house or some such thing, and you're not getting actual you're not getting paid by the peasants there, for example. So yeah, but my thought is, yeah, in the HRE it'd be very volatile because you can build like a commandery someplace, and then partition will happen, and then suddenly, the that chapter that commandery might get thrust into a different country now. Like, well, you built your commandery here, but now, sorry,
Lost a commandery post.
it's now split off into that other country that now exists because little shit McGee with his 2 locations just had his ruler die. So now those 2 locations have been split into 2 different countries. I need to see more. What are all these buildings you can make? Because here, yeah, the other thing, 132 more buildings. So I imagine that there's a lot of buildings because there's no way that they've whatever this order is has actually built 132 different commanderies. There's no way that they've gone around to 132 different Catholic countries, so they and have commanderies in them. That's just ridiculous. So I'm sure that a lot of it is just various types of buildings. But I want to know what more of them do. Come on, tell us more. Tell us more. Give us the Holy Order Dev Diary. Yep. Oh, that's right. Presumably, foreign buildings will get their goods from the market location. Wait. Who gets priority between the host nation and the foreign building in the same location? It's priority. Foreign buildings will get their goods from the market location. Build. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. It just means that whoever has queued the building up first. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Whoever's queued up the building first has started looking for people to buy the resources from first. That makes sense. So, hurting relations with someone will make it harder for them to build stuff in your country. Is there any benefit to the host country to have the building? Oh. But they will move pops that location. Is there any benefit to the host country to have the building? It looks like it consumes pops and goods, but doesn't provide anything besides the upgraded pops, which a player might not want to have due to pop estate power. There's no benefit, but they will move pops to that location, but they will count for them, not for you. What the heck does this mean? I'm so confused. I guess the idea is that it really is just a parasitic relationship, is what Johan's trying to establish here. That most foreign buildings won't, a lot of foreign buildings, I guess, won't be providing any benefit to the country that they're in. At least when it comes to landed countries building trading posts, but we'll have to see for more details on things like the chapter houses and commanderies. Because I'd like to imagine that building a commandery would do something. I'm sure
all
that
those filthy sites.
He knows. I'm sure that you would get stuff like conversion speed for some different certain holy order buildings. Maybe stuff that helps with disease. Have you considered how slavery will be implemented? Can you raid for slaves like the Barbary pirates did? Yes and yes. Yep, yep, you can. Oh boy, I can't wait to do the Imperator Rome thing and just rock up on different coastlines and build my mega city by just stealing all of these pops and bringing them to my capital. So that does actually that sounds really interesting when it comes to yoinking pops like that because that would be a way that yet again I just love different ways that you'll be getting like tons of different pops from different cultures in your country. So that would be interesting as well if you did it a bunch. Don't know how many other ethno religions there are so far. Don't know the extent yet, but we appreciate having fancy toys, useful tools to work with. Yes. They both answered the same question, really.
Yeah, Johans is basically, hey, the content designers will decide how to use them, and then the content designer, aka Pavia, says, hey, we haven't made any decisions, but it's a nice tool to have.
Yeah. Which is nice. And it's nice for modders as well. Yay!
Yeah, every tool the devs get is another one for us modders.
Yes.
Great.
So I can only hope there's similar functionality when it comes to adding modifiers and special effects to cultures as well, or cultural groups if necessary. The way just like you can apply things to heritage in CK3. Can, for example, Iberial, uh, uh, yeah, an Iberian, I guess, military order like Calatrava that is supposed to be a vassal of Castile set up buildings outside their overlord's territory? Yes. Okay. That. Oh, Calatrava is a subject of Castile. That's interesting then. Hmm. Hmm. I imagine it's probably very beneficial a lot of the time to set up to just have a subject extraterritorial nations. I can definitely imagine that being very handy sometimes. I yeah, just having the military or having military orders set up more bases of operation in various Catholic countries, and then through doing so, bring you more power because they're your subject. And then when you go fighting a war, they will come and help you. Any sort of downside to having a bunch of buildings from a banking tag in your nation? Is there any reason at all for you to want to destroy those buildings? Yeah, there's no real reason at the moment except the burgers eating food. Yeah, screw those burgers.
Yeah, no one
Burgers.
likes the burgers. They should starve.
Yeah. Though I can imagine a lot of the time it would actually be handy to have these banking structures because even if, well, I don't know how much they'll benefit the territory they're built in, but they'll increase the amount of burgers that are in that location, and just having more burgers in location is just helpful for urbanization if you're trying to accomplish that. So that's handy.
You
If
probably,
you're,
for the most part, won't mind anyone building in you.
yeah.
It's only going to be very specific times where you want to stop someone from building.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, you're rivals with someone, you don't want them to get powerful, so you want to get rid of them because of that. Like if Castile has its subject, Calatrava, building order structures of various sorts in your country as France, you might not want that. So I don't know. But the fact that they're a subject order, I don't know. I may suggest the mission should require at least wine and bread. You have to celebrate mass. Oh, this is true. Parish churches,
One
monasteries, and so on
bread,
should need them.
one body.
During the Middle Ages, there was a huge commerce of wine required for mass, and it was shipped even to Greenland. Whoa! For Christian ones, yes. Oh, so it was an example of a not Christian place. Okay. Informative. Interesting culture conversion lock. That will indeed prevent us from having Catholic Ashkenazi. Yes. Yes, it's nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. How do buildings? I build in foreign markets. Access the goods they need. Yeah, they just always use the market they're located in. If we own a building in a foreign country, can we sell that building to the government of the location? Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to just yeah. There's a lot of those buildings that you won't be building yourself as a landed country. Do building-based countries send pops to staff buildings? Yes, they send part of the pops and then promote/assimilate some locals. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Do they cultural convert some locals?
As we all know,
No,
wherever a McDonald's is built, they become Americans.
they maybe.
Why did they say promote/assimilate some locals? Because assimilate is the specific term they use for cultural conversion, and promote is the specific term that they use for like you, social ladder, going from peasants to burgers kind of thing.
I think it might depend on the building type. Some might require culture, you know,
Yeah,
others it doesn't need culture, but it just needs the right type.
I guess. Hmm. Gold is the limit to spamming buildings in relation to religions. Uh, Some religions are harder to convert, so Judaism is an example of that, I imagine. Moreover, can you target one religion chiefly? Don't explain that. Will missions disappear once the location is owned? Yes. Okay. Makes sense. Trade post slash Feitoras. Yeah, makes sense. Those exist too. That's probably a big thing for Portugal, is establishing the Feitorias. I played Civ 6. I know what those are. They're also super annoying.
Pretty sure they're a thing in Civ 5 too, if they're the things I'm thinking of.
They don't work the same at all though. Um, in Civ 6 you build them on coast tiles in foreign nations, and they
That's how they
leech.
worked in Civ 5 too.
You build them in the water in Civ 5?
Oh, not in the water, no, but you build them in foreign lands.
Oh, I see. Yeah, in Civ 6 you straight up you get a boat that is allowed to go into foreign territory and you build them with that. Can buildings be forced through war? Like if they destroy building on nuclear, it depends on so many factors, I guess. I really
So
want to know what
I'm not right now.
I really want to know what the CB, the Holy Order, gets if someone destroys their buildings.
You done fucked up.
You done fucked up. So now what? Does the Holy Order steal your land? Do they force you to make the buildings? Or can they just actually just yoink your land now? Set up a vassal in that county.
Nationalization project.
Two. Shouldn't the fund the commanderies raise be somewhat linked to the local community's wealth and the presence of the faith? That's what I was. I was a little confused by that because I had thought that the bonus you get from it wouldn't be a flat number, but it obviously was. But I would have imagined that the bonus would be depending on how wealthy the location you built it in is. Like if you got permission to set up a commandery and you got some land in Paris, I imagine that having some land in Paris as your commandery would be a lot more valuable than some land in the Swiss Alps. Um, you can't, yeah, you cannot build, um, yeah, you can't build trading. You cannot build uh, stuff as an extraterritorial nation in the lands of Society of Pops because they aren't like a country. Yeah. But perhaps there is something you can build in those locations. Maybe there's unique buildings you can make there because the French did in fact do that. But I suppose you could claim that that was a prelude to colonization. Next Wednesday there will be a Tinto talk, but the week after is La Diada. Oh,
La
it's
di
still
da.
won't be done. This is so sad. All these Spanish holidays. Gross.
SOH.
The owner of the building and the one who built it get the ship capacity. Yeah, such okay. Does the mission always convert 100 pops, or can it be slowed down by local modifiers, like local culture, religion, and laws? Yeah. Yep. What does this fuck know? What? Oh, just a picture of yeah, Sean Bean man. Yep, well, I guess because he said winter is coming. And Johan just says, "Fuck no, dude." Okay. No one is driving the donkey in the header image. Is the donkey qualified to perform that job alone?
What are his
Yes.
credentials?
It's a very professional donkey.
What's his resume?
So that's none of your business. That is the business is between the donkey and Johan.
Johan isn't vetting his employees properly.
You still gonna hold on to the requirements for colonies to have the same religion as their parent country? Yes. Which I guess is what the missions are for, because you gotta convert people. Yeah. Any foreign buildings to mark your sphere of influence? And there are ways for that. Okay. Are there any foreign buildings connected to colonialism? Some, like missions, are tied into colonization. Okay. Foreign buildings can give benefits and penalties to both the owner and of the owner of the building and the owner of the location. Yes. I guess yes. Probably yes. Yes. Who pays for the construction? Yeah, everyone pays. The owner pays for all of that shit. Yeah. More a Tyrion than he is a Ned. Oh God. Couldn't stop seeing that it says available liquor is -2. Yeah, that's when the supply is down. Informative. Okay. Well, important to note, it is not possible to make production buildings like a tannery or a cannon maker in a foreign country. You you can't outsource production.
Not general ones, yeah.
This is
I mean,
treasure.
you could probably set it up so that, like a commandery, you get some sort of profit from it, but it wouldn't scale or be dynamic or anything like that. It'd probably just be a flat amount, something like that.
The flat no implies to me that you just don't have a way of making buildings in foreign countries to get resources.
Rip our dreams of capitalist exploitation.
It's the only ways you can do the capitalist exploitation is by increasing your trade power, I guess. Maritime presence and such. The location's building slot UI will be dealt with through filters and flags. And the way that he's saying, this question asking about building slots. Yeah, I kind of doubt that this game is going to have building slots because there's going to be so many different types of buildings. I don't think it's going to use a system where you need to unlock more building slots. I imagine it's going to be a lot more based on just having the people to be able to staff it. Yeah, if a location you own has like 20 different countries, foreign buildings in it, yeah, filter and flag makes sense. Maritime presence means that trade office can only be built in coastal locations. Well, there you go. You can only build them on the coast. No trade offices inland. Rest in peace. Our hopes and dreams. But this means it is instead time to build a trade office in every single coastal county. Every coastal location, trade office. I like disagree. Well, I'm sure there must be something similar that you can build inland, right? I don't know. Samaritans confirmed. Yes. Samaritans Pog. Hmm. Will explorers from, for example, Muslim countries still require liquor? Yes, a sailor is a sailor. I am sending a screenshot of this too exactly.
Ooh.
I am sending that right away to him. He needs to see this. Sad but not surprised religious orders are tied to Catholicism? No, but these ones are. Eh? Huh? What does this mean? Religious orders are not tied to Catholicism, but these specific ones are?
The point is that religious orders are not exclusive to Catholicism. They can exist in others.
I guess, yeah. They can exist in other religions, but they don't they're just not common, I guess. There's not really ways that they start, but there's nothing that stops them from showing up somehow, I guess. And maybe there will be some that show up from different religions. Mm. I mean, even if it was tied to Catholicism, that would be very easy to change in the code. Because at any time that there's something that addresses a fact like needs it to be Catholic, you can just change it to say, doesn't matter, or as long as it's literally anything. So, that's for the Portugal flavor talk. God, no! This is how they're gonna manage to have Tinto talks all the way until the game releases. Because they're just. They're gonna nickel and dime us, guys. All the way to the end.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about London special flavor.
Yeah.
It has a unique building. It's called Big Ben, and it goes dong every hour in game.
It starts with the Tower of London, but unlocks Big Ben after this date. Once you enter this age and have this institution, you're able to construct Big Ben. And it goes bong.
Yeah, the real reason that they divided it into hours is so that every time those your ticks, instead of being like tick, 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 it turns into bong, 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 bong.
You need to zoom in on London in EU5 and it's just every in-game tick and it goes bong.
Bong, bong,
Can't
bong.
wait to speed 5 it.
Bong, bong, bong. This is so stupid. What are we doing here? All
In our
right.
minds because we're waiting for this freaking game.
Yes, we're losing our minds while waiting for this game to be announced. Even people are losing their minds so much they're announced. Yeah. Dark. People losing their minds so much. Did you see that guy on the Reddit who announced a mod that he's gonna make for EU5? We have no idea when that's coming out. This is March of the
started
Eagles.
already. Shitpost chain.
Yeah, I saw the shitpost chain. I was like, oh yeah.
Wait,
I
did
sent
it really?
I sent it to Vector, the shitpost, and it started. Yeah.
Show me.
Like a whole bunch of people started posting about their planned mods, and it's all
Well, one of them was a shitpost, but did I send? Yeah. Grab that real quick. I'll just take it out of my screenshots and send it to you too.
Oh boy.
Okay, load faster speed. There we go. Nope, that's not that one. Couple more down. Okay, it's a little farther down than I thought. Huh. Okay, I'll just download the one I sent to Vector then. This is taking more time than I thought it would.
Epic.
And I'll just post it in the zone. You must see. You can look up that if you want to get to the actual page. That's the ship post.
This is a ship post?
This is the ship post, yes. It's the final Revengers. I'll actually I can show it on the screen too. This is a ship post on the Reddit. New EU5 total conversion mod announcement. The final Defenders Revenge Enhanced. I've been making mods for Paradox games for as long as I can remember. You might remember some of my mods, like the Beard Replacement mod in Crusader Kings 2. And then it goes on. You gonna make Gandalf an army-based country of one man? Yeah, obviously. An army-based country of one dude. Yeah.
He's a one-man army.
Oh my god. Can you imagine that? You're just playing the game in the HRE and then you have this one-man army walk past and just you hover over it just says Gandalf. It's just and the flag is just his hat.
Insert Gandalf with sunglasses.
If a nation ceases to exist, what happens to its foreign-owned buildings? If they get annexed and are a location-based country, then the annexer takes them. Oh, so it's like how in EU4, if you take all of the land of a nation that has vassals, you automatically vassalize these vassals. Yeah. So similarly here, if you take all of the land of a location-based country, you get their foreign buildings as well. That makes sense, yeah.
Yes.
Another mechanic. Alright. Time to go look at that Tinto Map Extra 2. Tinto Maps Extra 2, Sahara, Electric Boogaloo. I love it. Here we go. Cultural assimilation of elites should be faster. Which I also agree should be the case, but I kind of think it's already going to simulate that based on the fact that it's going to probably target those smaller number of people sooner. I forget how it was, but when they first talked about how assimilation works, it made it sound like they're going to... It just kind of targets the pops that aren't peasants more often. Like, it's just as likely when you're assimilating to target any of the categories, any of the different categories of pop. So, as a result of that, it's much quicker, relatively speaking, for it to assimilate the nobles. I will just kind of want to see. Oh, God. Too much text. Too much text. Hey there, nobody expects a Tinto Maps Extra. It's true. Unless it's promised, as mentioned last week by me. Pavia did kind of say that this was coming eventually. So, anyways, today we want to share with you the lands around the Sahara Desert. Most of them have already been shown in 4 of the previous Tinto maps. The 2 for North Africa, and the 2 for West, and the Horn of Africa. So this one is kind of the puzzle piece connecting all those regions. And this is why we preferred to show it as a Tinto map extra. Let's take a look then. And I do agree. This is something I very much appreciate, having it all just spelled out for us so we can very clearly see what it looks like. Decided to show only the non-colored wastelands so as to notice clearly which locations are controlled by a country in 1337 and which ones are corridors. Yeah. Also, the corridor coloring bug is not yet solved, so showing the colored version would be deceiving. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. I did the Mali. I did not expect this because I saw that Mali owned some of these little oases north. Did not expect it to go up here. I am honestly a little shocked that Fazan is the only country in the Sahara that's a Sahara only country. I thought
Yeah.
there was going to be a Tuareg one, but there's no Tuareg nation, which genuinely surprises me.
Not at this point. This is Mali at its apex, remember, and
True.
that involved them having an ironclad grip on the trans-Saharan trade routes.
Yeah. There's basically no area. There's like one point in between them and Morocco. They're almost touching, which is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But they're almost touching tips. Look, oh my god! But and you're also going to be able to go along the coastline too, which is interesting. The locations on the Sahara western coast is full, like all the way up and down the west coast of the Sahara. There are locations. There's no corridors along the coastline, for example, which is neat. So they make it consistent on all edges, like everywhere along Africa is on the coastline at least ownable all the way along it, which I very much appreciate. Because I mean, as Morocco or Mali, I very much have the intention to colonize all along the coast to get across. But as Mali here, yeah, all you're gonna do, you gotta just, I mean, you need to reassert your control, obviously, because you're probably going to be in danger of falling apart at the game start. So secure yourself, and then you start glomping on stuff. You might even be able to colonize some of these landed countries here. I would not be surprised, because you're an empire.
Yeah, perhaps.
Depends on what tech you've got. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how much tech has spread to sub-Saharan Africa. I imagine Mali would be the place. Kanem would be a candidate, but I doubt it. They're gonna have so much tribal pops in their country.
I mean, so is Mali.
Yeah, but Kanem's gonna be worse. I think. Maybe. I don't know. We haven't seen the brass tacks information on pop counts of different classes. But I will like to see that. But anyway, yeah, I'll move along to. I want to see more of the proper location layout. So, oh, here's the yeah. Oh no, Mali does touch Morocco. Holy shit!
Yay.
They genuinely are right next to Morocco. That is insane.
I mean, one of Imperial Mali's last big hurrahs was when they fought off a bloody invasion from Morocco.
Really?
The Moroccans had guns. The Malians did not.
I did not know about this.
Mm-hmm.
Morocco invaded them with guns, and Mali did
Yeah.
not have guns. Okay. Huh. Very interesting then. Well, good on them. I'll have to replicate that. Yeah, you do have the Tuaregs as a people, a society of pops in various locations. So yeah, you've got that, and theoretically, you'll be able to eventually play them, and eventually they would be capable of becoming an actual country as they advance in tech and such, which is neat. You've also got the Canaries as a society of pops. Did not expect that, but that is interesting. I doubt that they're going to get the chance to. I doubt that they'll have the chance to become a settled nation, but perhaps if you are playing them, whenever they make that playable, it'll be easier for a player to manage. Though Castile and Portugal can probably colonize you without too much trouble anyway. Because, I mean, what are you going to do? Fight back? They declare war on them to get their colonies to stop? Then what? They're just going to kill you and annex you outright. The existing societies have pops, as mentioned previously. They're very much work in progress placeholder, especially in Western Africa. These are the regions that were made very much earlier than others. But yes, the full extent of the Tuareg people is interesting, which were added later and they're pretty much in place. Oh, okay, so this is yeah, they're very much spread
What you
all
see is
around.
what you get.
Mm-hmm. Please also take into account that we have several layers in-game to portray different forms of social organization. So in some places we have land-owning countries with integrated/accepted tribal pops being important, like Morocco. Yep. Other places we may have more societies of pops, and other regions were populated just by horizontal societies. What a fantastic way to describe unowned land. uh,
Horizontal societies, aka no stratification
yeah,
and power hierarchies.
it's a fair way to describe them. It's just very funny. There's the bigger location map. Yeah, you really do get to see all the way along the way that it turns into the Sahara, where you get your your lands peeking up a little bit in these nubs that then turn into the wastelands. Definitely something to keep in mind. It's a neat touch on how it's done, because you get that here too, where you've got the coastline, and then there's always over here on the western coast just a location that peaks in, and then it starts to. You get me? It goes to onomatopoeia, I think the term is. Yes.
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's the like when the train goes choo choo. Yeah, never mind. I'm very smart, trust me. Some of these corridors look really weird the more I look at them. So you get ones like the fork. You have the tuning fork corridor. This is down here. This
Yeah,
is
but I'm assuming there's reason for it. Historical
yeah.
precedent and shit.
I mean, part of it is so that you can access it from either of these two places. Though I mean, you could probably do that just as well by having it be in the middle. But yeah, whatever. This is how they want to represent it. Hmm. Itchy all over today. God damn it. Yes, the famous Saharan corridors. There's plenty of connections through the Sahara, though most of them are non-inhabited and non-ownable corridor locations. The ones without a name on them. Yep. I Interestingly, one thing that's interesting to note is that in the middle, it's very spiderwebby. It's more or
Mm-hmm.
less spiderwebby, but except in the very center where it goes all around in circles, and even then a bit, it okay. In general, all across it, the Sahara really feels like a north-south thing. Not much of these corridors go side to side.
Well,
Um,
that makes sense because side to side is the longest way of taking it in the Sahara, and if you take too long in the Sahara, you die.
yeah, but and an interesting result of that is that you have places that like the western edge of the Sahara, it's disconnected from the middle. Looking at this, it's not actually connected to the rest of it. You have to go out into Morocco or Mali to get. I mean, unless you count the nubs. If you consider these little bits that stick out, I'll have to look at the terrain again. I don't remember what the terrain there looks like. Provinces. funny big provinces and areas. Of course, the Sahara Oases region. Areas, rather. Very funny, indeed. Yeah. Terrain, arid. You get
It's shite.
there's a little tropical one though. But yeah, it's dreadful. Predictably. And it's flat. Oh, there's a mountain. There's a couple mountain ones though. Stick out, yeah. And by a couple I mean 3 all across. And a plateau next to one of them. Oops. Desert. The Sahara is a big desert, I guess. Oh. No, never mind. I guess I was wrong, because the actual desert itself, and then the sparse land connecting to it, yeah. So never mind. The western edge, you can get to the rest of the Sahara from it still. It's just that you need to go all the way to the edge on either side, yeah. 11,000 BCE mod when the Sahara was green. Yep. All right, do it, Gamal.
Honestly,
Do it.
what you need to do instead, Jamal, is you need to do a even like further back mod set around the the extinction of the Neanderthals
Mm-hmm.
with all the different species of humans on the planet.
Yes. What a fantastic idea, Dark.
That would work so well with the EU5 system.
I bet. Sounds like
It's almost as good as Neo Canada.
I, yeah. Okay, he knows about Neo Canada. Man's been reading. And the cultures. We still have Eastern Berber. Fantastic. My favorite culture, as everyone knows. At
Make
least
peace with it.
I have to make peace with it, yeah. But at least we have my beloved Tuaregs. They're so precious. And Libyan. Whoa, look at the Libyans. The Libyans they gotta get rid of the Eastern Berbers, because that name just needs to go. It needs to be off the map. Unfortunately, it's quite expansive. Saidi?
Saidi.
Saidi. They're guys that hang out in the desert. Whoa. But east.
Like manly men.
Like manly men in the desert, yes. Doing who knows what. Eating dates, maybe.
Or going on dates.
Going on dates in the desert.
Like manly men.
Mm-hmm.
Together.
How romantic.
Yes, it is. I'm glad you agree. Godala. Oh, that's a different culture. Lamb tuna. Lamb tuna. I haven't heard that name before. Yeah. There's lots of cultures in the Sahara. It's neat. Some of them have bad names. Some of them have funny names. Some of them are based.
Some of them are cringe.
Some of them are cringe. And then there's the religion too. It's very predictable. I am truly shocked at the religious makeup of the Sahara, and that it is 90% Sunni. Whoa. There is a bunch of Ibadi too. Yeah, it's 90% Sunni with 9% Ibadi and 1% Coptic. I do love The Miaphysite pops, the Miaphysite Coptic boys hanging around.
Hmm.
Maybe
Very
they'll
cool.
make you have to convert the Coptic people away from Miaphysite before you convert their culture too. Ooh. It's not as
Yeah, I
important
think
though.
that's a good example of one.
It would be a good example, but it's not as important. The important one has been established now, so I'm glad they've done that.
Same thing I think with like the Assyrian Christians. That could also be a good ethno-religious group.
People did suggest that one as well, yeah. All the dates. Oh my god. So many dates for the manly men in the desert. Yum. Unfortunately, these ownable oases locations are these ownable oases locations are in fact still desert. You're still living in a desert despite the fact that there's an oasis that you can live at. It just means that it's habitable. It's not like CK3 where you can own the whole desert and there's some parts of it that are just inexplicably good land. It's like, well, yeah, this is an oasis. It's actually just better than plains. CK3 is wild, man. And yeah, there's a very good diversity of resources in the Sahara. Fazan is going to be so powerful with its access to livestock and dates. If they're lucky, they might have access to horses, but I don't think they own that. Nope, Tripoli owns that. Though Fazan is probably a comparable power to Tripoli. Maybe.
Ah,
Maybe Vector? Comparable power?
no,
Hey,
I'm pretty sure
don't
Tripoli will be more powerful.
don't ruin my dreams. My dreams of Fazan first playthrough. Embody Fazan, conquer the world. Never let your memes be dreams. Plenty of sand. Which, apart from being coarse and rough and irritating, gets everywhere. Whoa! There are other interesting materials in the Sahara, such as salt, alum, copper, and some iron. There's some iron? Oh yeah, there's iron over in the far eastern corner. Yeah, there's a little bit of a few different kinds of resources, I guess. There's lots of salt, all things considered, yeah. The markets. This is something I did want to get a better view of. And it's dreadful. Sheesh. Wait. The Sevilla market?
There's a post about how that's, or there's a comment about how that's they've been recalculating so it isn't as big as it looks on here because it's spreading through all the sea tiles.
It spreads.
It's not.
It has
So they've
spread.
recalculated.
This is so weird because what's happened here is that the Sevilla market has spread all the way down to Yolof, and then the Fez market has spread through Jank, skipping a county as well, down to Yolof as well on the land. Oh my gosh, then you got Benin! Look at Benin going through the ocean and grabbing this one random Yolof port. Oh my god. Yeah, this is probably gonna. I imagine, and then you got Najimi. That's skipping some land too. I imagine this is gonna take them some work to solidify the system. It's a really good system, and it's one that everyone wants. I'm sure. At least I think. I don't know. There might be some old guard people that don't like the idea of moving away from the static trade, but I don't know. I don't really interact much with that side of the EU4 community. Much. So I don't really know. But yeah, shockingly, the Sahara does not have its own trade node. Niani, um, though, Mali does not have as strong of a control over it as I would expect. Because Some of their land is in the Faz node. Hmm. And basically all of Fez is in Egypt, but yeah, I mean, that was very much expected. Hmm. Well, don't think there's too much more to say about that. Sahara looks a lot like my cable management. You know what? I can't relate to that because my cable management is way more pressed together than this. There's way too much space for these cords to breathe for it to be my computer. Possible to color in the Sahara somehow via an option. And yeah, clarifies that will be possible. Good. Please color in the Sahara. Yes. Well, I don't think there's going to be a lot more to talk about in regards to this. So, um, why is the Western Sahara coast all colonizable? No, please. Why don't complain about that? Would it look better for it to be mainly corridors? No. It just does not look as good to have this entire coastal strip of land that historically didn't have many settlements as far as No. No, please. Uh, there were inhabited settlements, some permanent, some stational along the coast. That's why we made those lands locations instead of corridors. For comparisons, the routes are going from Ijil to Tinduf, but there weren't settlements there. That's why there's a corridor there. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad. Okay, I'm just happy to read this and see that Pavia's not like. Well, you see, we're internally debating on removing those and just making it one location again, like an EU4. Oh, please no. Put a corridor in that coastline. It's weird that you can't cross it. Oh, yeah. This strip of the coast here. This is dreadful. No one goes there. That's the dead zone. Mm-mm-mm. Make it a location too. Come on. Come on, make it a notable land. Make it all along the eastern coast as well. Oh, soon? Oh yes, Pavia wants to soon make a post about the natural harbors of the known world. Yes. Oh, that'd be great. I'm looking forward to that. Right. But that's all that there is to see here for now. Anything else? Thoughts on armor-based countries? No. Let's see dev responses to anything in here. The problem with our feedbacks. It's a dev response to this subject. Oh, they're discussing stuff like blobbing. After 200 years of playing EU4 and any other Paradox game, you've already well and truly won, and you're ready to restart the game. Because Project Caesar's start date is so early, that probably means that in a European game, by the time I get to the point where colonization is possible, I'll already have conquered so much of Europe that the challenge has disappeared from the game. But I think that not having a late 1400 start date is the only really terrible decision Tinto have made so far. Okay. Things work in EU4 where conquest is trivial, and the only limit on conquest is your mana has no relevance to Project Caesar. Dark, he's giving me hope. I keep telling you. Johan is giving me hope about the blobbing. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. Hmm. Hmm. SOP. Oh, Societies of Pops. The point of. Okay, the main problem is that they don't have access to the normal economy loop, which makes things feel weird and some loops not exist at all. Yeah. Find what could this be in their gameplay loop. It's just the tricky part, yeah. Well, I really hope that they think of a way to make them playable eventually, even if it's not in at release. But do people really? I mean, hey, Gamalt, people who are good at EU4, which I imagine you give me the vibe of someone who knows what you're doing in Paradox Grand Strategy games. So I imagine you're someone who, within the first 100 years of EU4, could own most of Europe. That's the kind of vibe you give me if you're playing as one of the stronger countries. You play as France. That's what I feel from you. I could probably do a similar thing, but I've never played large country, so I don't actually know how I'm capable at things like that. But the point is, you can probably relate to this feeling of we don't know how it's going to actually play once we get it in our hands. We don't know how tough it's going to be to do things like that. But in CK3, you could so easily own like half of Europe. Like first 100 years, if you play like a strong country and you go for meta options and stuff, yeah, you could take over Europe easy in the first century of the game. Challenge gone. But I think that due to how there's theoretically going to be these limits. We've seen a lot of the little pieces on how the limits on conquest are going to work and what they're going to be like, but we just haven't seen how they function in practice. But I think one of the big ones is going to be your levies and the amount of people that you actually have to recruit from as a part of your pool, because we know that the biggest amount of troops you're getting access to is from your primary accepted pops. And if you're fighting wars all the time and losing those pops, they're not going to be growing, and instead you're going to be losing them. And if you're losing them, then that means that you're going to be getting weaker as you expand. And well, that ain't good. That means that all those smaller pops that don't like being ruled by you could revolt and stuff. But we'll have to see how that actually works in practice, as I'm saying. Uh, hmm. Yeah, societies of pops can't have RGOs. That just wouldn't work. Yeah. Who controls the RGO then? Yeah. Hmm. I mean, there might be some way that you could have these unowned lands still producing resources if they've got societies of pops in them, but it would be really tricky. French Revolutionary Wars are literally a save my disaster campaign that the Habsburg player decided to tag switch into midway through a campaign. Huh? Literally save. Um, I mean, if you're that implies you're really good at the game, if that's what you mean to say, Ryan. Hmm. I'm not sure what other points you'd be making with that statement, other than that, though. All right. I don't think there's going to be anything else, though. Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's a post do a Tinto talk on the main mission content system rather than later. That's one I kind of want to see because someone's responded to that. When we start
Joffrey.
when we start making missions, or so we'll talk about it. The code currently is in an updated version of. It's currently an updated version of the. Huh. Currently, it's coded in as an updated version of the mission tree mechanics from Imperator, but we're working on making a deep and immersive game with loads of content before we start doing any types of missions. Whoa! Yo! That's the thing that people were complaining about. People were so worried that they'd be spending so much time on mission trees that they're not doing things.
This is literally the same answer they gave us like 5 months ago regarding missions trees.
Listen, it's been 5 months since that though. So, I was supposed to remember every little thing back there.
Yeah, considering it was mentioned 6 or 7 times across various things, yes.
Well, I don't like your tone. Ever think of
Tough
that?
shit.
You're an RP. You're an RP after action report sort of person. That's really cool, Gamalt. Yes. I have a lot of respect for people that make after action reports. Yes. And Ryan, yes, you think they're waiting for the Anbanar modders to give the game mission trees? Yes, very true. They gotta wait for Anbanar to finish development so that the Anbanar team can go work for them to make mission trees for the base game. Yeah, of EU5. That makes sense. Yeah, because everyone, you can't wait until you get your mission as. Now, what's an example? What's a good shitpost I could come up with? Your mission as the papal state, where you press the declare the kingdom of God button, and then you get a ruler. You change to a heavenly monarchy or heavenly host government type, and it gives you plus 50% admin efficiency for the rest of the game, and you get elections between rulers of angel culture that all are 666 rulers. That's there. Yeah, that's my shit post on Anbanar missions. Take that. Everyone's too powerful. See, that's the joke. Damn, I'm very clever. But I think that's all because Vector's getting impatient, and I've proven that the training isn't working as well as he thought. So I think we'll wrap this up here. But I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.